covered hurricanes in the past.
I mean, I think everybody up there in the newsroom probably has, right?
Yep. This is a look at Tampa, Florida. Hurricane Helene yet to make an official landfall in the state, but look at the waves. The water's also splashing right onto the highway. Oh, look at that. Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg is tracking the storm for. Boy, it's frightening, just frightening.
Well, listen, it's the way that coastline is shaped, and it just is going to catch all that water coming in. Tampa's going to go through some of their worst weather right here as we go through the early evening hours. Clearly visible eye, Category 3, expected to be a 4 upon landfall. Basically about 150 miles from the Big Bend. I mean, that's going to put it inland as we go through late evening or so. It's also right at Tampa's latitude. And so we're getting some squalls that have been coming through there with very heavy rainfall and gusty winds. And there's St. Petersburg right here. So there's been an offshore wind, and we've seen water lashing St. Petersburg. And now the winds are probably swirling because of the hurricane going just to the west now. But don't ask me, let's go right to it. Here's ABC's Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee, who's been in this cauldron now for about 12 hours getting lashed by this. And Ginger, you've seen so many storms. How's that area holding up right now? Are you seeing those winds shift, and are we just continuing to get breached along the coastline now?
Yeah, Lee, I've actually seen so many storms right here around Tampa Bay. Treasure Island is like the place that Dan Manzo, a meteorologist and field producer I work with, we say we should get a second place because we've been here so much. We were in Idalia a year ago. We were in Debbie just a few weeks ago. And just behind me, this is Tampa Bay, and it is just still roiling. You can see the seawall here has been breached for quite some time, and I'll just walk you over to where I started the morning and where I will not be throughout the rest of the evening because the water has overtaken the ground here. So important to note that, yes, as you mentioned, the winds are starting to shift. We had an east wind and then a southeast wind, and now I'd say it's south-southeast. So we're seeing some change in the behavior of these waves, but as that wind goes to the southwest and comes onshore, I know what that looks like here. We saw it in Idalia, and that was a weaker storm. Category 4 hurricane going into close to Steinhatchee, which is very similar to Idalia's path.
Yes.
I am really concerned about Cedar Key, Crystal River, that took 7 feet of surge during Idalia. If you do 10 or 12 feet of surge there, you're going to have horrible damage. And obviously, we want and hope that everybody there in that dirty side of the storm got out.
And Ginger, you've been stressing all day, all week, of course, that, yeah, sure, this is a Florida landfall, but this is an all southeastern U.S. experience, right?
Yes, so we've had gusts here close to 70 miles per hour, and I think people don't understand how easily that can take down trees that aren't palm trees, right? Palm trees are made for this type of weather, but when you take that storm and it rockets across Georgia, I think we're going to see widespread power outages all the way, say, from Albany to Tifton, and then upwards closer to Atlanta. One of the models I'm sure you've seen stops by Augusta with a 70-mile-per-hour gust at like 5 a.m. tomorrow. So really incredible wind speeds, and of course that inland flood threat that you just can't miss in western North Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina, eastern Tennessee, talking about 5 to 10 inches of rain on top of what they've already had this week. And I'm sorry, my new haircut's not working for storm coverage is what I'm learning very quickly.
It's working just fine. It's been one heck of a day and will be one heck of a night. Always appreciate your coverage. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on World News with the latest on the storm.